Peace, love, and blessings, everyone. Welcome to Is It Too Complex for You? My name is Complex Angel. I'm a poet. I'm a stimulate your mind awareness coach. I'm a self love advocate. I do a lot. And I thank you for coming to this page and just welcoming and allowing me to be complex as fuck with you. What you can expect from this page is a podcast talking about different topics that will stimulate your mind, get you to stop and think about things that we normally don't stop to think about. Enjoy some poetry, enjoy some promotion, because this page is about to be a movement where we are tired of people telling us that we are too much. If we're too much, that just means that we're too complex for that person that said we were too much. They're too lazy to peel back the layers of us, right? We got to be complex as fuck. So I just wanted to tap in and let you know for this first podcast episode, you're about to hear some lovely gems from Circumstantial Saint and Divine Marie. They are going to tell you more about themselves. In this topic, we touch on attachment styles and we go at it from different angles. So I'm just asking you to tune in, watch a good 12 minutes. If you like what you see and you want to listen to more, go ahead. It's a safe space. Also share, like, and comment. Let me know what you liked about it, what you learned about it, what you were confused about it. The only thing I don't ask of is disagreeing with someone and telling them that you can't think like this. It's okay to disagree, but when we start telling people you can't think like this and this is wrong, I've learned we cannot argue perception. And it's still a continuing lesson that I'm learning today. So tune in and always love yourself. Peace. I'm not a poet, I'm poetry. Watch as I entangle my identity in these metaphors, speak to you in similes. Mirror reflecting these testimonies through the reflection of your eyes. I can be blues or victories on your lines. You decide. My pen is crowned in gold. Melanin queen giving you these colorful dimensions. My words stimulate the mind, raising the vibration of people while cutting through egos. These sheets ain't always comfortable to get lost in. Just know I bring you from the darkness to the light. Not saying my way is always right, I just resonate with what sounds right to me. So if you dare to take a look inside, keep an open mind. Know there's graffiti all through these poetic streets that makes me. Each tattoo has a story entangling pieces of me. I'm not a poet, I'm poetry. I speak to you in similes. Mirror reflecting these testimonies through the reflection of your eyes. I can be blues or victories on your lines. You decide how you perceive me through your eyes. I'm Complex Angel. Now let me stimulate your mind. Okay. Peace, love, and blessings, everyone. Welcome to Is It Too Complex for You? Stimulate Your Mind style. I am a Stimulate Your Mind awareness coach. I'm a poet. And I'm also a self-love advocate. So y'all gonna see how passionate I get with these. Today I am interviewing the beautiful Divine, aka Daisha Marie, you know what I'm saying, and Circumstantial Saint. I'm gonna let them plug themselves. We'll let Divine go first, then Saint.
Hey everybody, my name is Daisha Myers, also known as Divine Marie. I am a poet and spoken word artist, a holistic practitioner, and a doula.
Yes. What about you, Saint?
My name is Circumstantial Saint. I am a poet, producer, curator of events, and event host and community organizer.
Yes. All right. Okay. Let's get right into it. So, today, everyone, we are talking about attachment styles. I feel like this is a topic that we could talk about for days, something that
Mm-hmm.
we need to be mindful of. So, I wanted to start off with the dynamic duo because listen, I'm going to let them plug themselves even more at the end. They even have projects where they are talking about how to release that trauma. So, we're going to get right into it. All right. So, let me share my screen. See. Okay. All right. First segment. Am I attached to these strings? So the attachment style. So we have the first one, which is secure. In this attachment style, a person can trust fairly easily, is attuned to their emotions. They can communicate when they're upset, they can communicate directly. They lead with cooperative and flexible behavior in relationships. Next to that, we have anxious. This person has a sensitive nervous system, struggles communicating, needs directly, tends to act out when triggered, makes like making partner jealous. Then we have avoidant dismissive. They downplay the importance of a relationship. They're usually extremely self-reliant. They can become more vulnerable when there's a big crisis. Then we have avoidant fearful. This is a person that's more dependent in relationships than avoidant dismissive, strongly fears rejection, has low self-esteem, and has high anxiety in relationships. So I'm gonna unshare so we can get right into the questions. Hold on one second. Stop sharing. Take myself back off camera. All right. So first question is, where do you see yourself on that chart?
You
I'll
want me
let
to go first?
absolutely Devon Marie. You got the flow.
Okay.
Always.
Okay, so I mean, attachment styles is something that I've studied for a long time because my bachelor's degree is actually in psychology, so I took like a whole class on this. Um, but I'm definitely anxious attachment, but I have some avoidant as well.
Okay. Circumstantial Saint.
Um, it's funny, like myself and Divine, we know each other very well, and I'm
Mhm.
also anxious. However, I'm anxious dismissive.
Mm.
Okay. So for me, I'm a little all over the place. I'm very complex. When it comes to my sisterhood with my sister and my Splash Watch sisters, I would see myself as secure. But when
Mhm.
it comes to intimate relationships, I see layers, right?
Mm.
I am the avoidant fearful. I do become extra.
Mm.
I do try to become the person that I hear them, when they tell me about what went wrong in their other relationships, I try to be the opposite for them.
Mm.
And then it becomes anxious, anxious when I feel like they're pulling away. And then I become dismissive when it's like, why do I keep giving and I'm not getting what I want in return? So yeah.
Mm.
To piggyback on that,
Felt that. I kind of feel that. Like I feel like sometimes, yeah, I am a mixture of both as well.
so
But yeah, I guess we'll dive a little bit more into that then.
yeah, you can listen, you got the floor. Listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say, like, I feel like I'm anxiously attached at the beginning of a relationship or like beginning of like talking to someone. I feel very anxiously attached. But then I notice that when it's someone that is actually like secure and they're not giving me like any avoidance, I become avoidant.
I relate to that. I relate to that. Yo.
Yeah.
Say I
Yeah.
see the face. What's going through the head? If you want to share.
Well, nah, I get that. I feel that. Not necessarily personally, but in a sense of like I can mirror. I totally get it. When, a relationship will start for me, I'm pretty secure, right? And
Mm,
then as time may go along and there's things that come along naturally that happen with
mhm.
conflict and be having PTSD and being a people pleaser in recovery, like you get triggered by something. If you're in a tight
Yeah.
relationship with someone, it's gonna happen. Conflict is gonna
Mhm.
happen, and when that happens, I immediately will revert to the old or the inner child, and
Mm,
immediately the avoidant dismissive will come out, and then
for
the other
sure.
person I'll notice will be more secure because they're, as they should as a partner,
Mm-hmm.
will like balance me out by holding me up, right? So of course they're going to be more secure, but then I'm fighting to get out of that avoidant dismissive, knowing that I'm in there.
Mm,
Ooh,
felt
listen.
that. Yeah.
Yes. I definitely understand where you're coming from, Divine Marie, because, okay, growing up, I grew up in a household where it was more criticism than compassion, right? When you
Okay.
when there was a mistake, there was lectures instead of love or hate,
Yeah.
best of us. So subconsciously, because I didn't know my dad growing up, I didn't have the guidance of what I wanted a man to treat me like. So
Mm-hmm.
going after men who definitely don't bring as much as I do to the table,
Mm-hmm.
it boosted my ego because
Mm-hmm.
it's, oh, I can work on you as a project. That class is in session is a real thing,
Yes.
right? I can work on you as a project, and you ain't got to tell me what's wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm already hearing it at home. But then when you come across somebody that is more secure and they
Mm-hmm.
know what they want, I find
Mm-hmm.
myself like, because like we say we want this love, but then when it
Mm-hmm.
comes, you realize, yo, I don't know how to really sustain it. So I had
Yeah.
on myself, I didn't really start learning about attachment styles until I started going on my healing journey. So
Mm-hmm.
listen, who we already real and raw. This, you see how natural this is.
I
Oh,
know,
did
right?
y'all want to piggyback before we go to the next question? Like if you like, listen, there's no time limit with this. We just having a discussion, or did you want to go on to the next part?
I will say that I definitely felt what you said, complex. Just from my perspective and just in relationships in general, like, yeah. And I will say that from a masculine versus feminine perspective, and me being masculine dominated, I can tell that there's like an opposite, so to speak, to like what y'all are saying, but I still feel what y'all are saying. So like
Mm,
definitely
Mm.
appreciate y'all.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. I
I
respect.
saw something before that said typically, anxiously attached people typically attract avoidance, like people that are avoidance. Yeah.
Mm,
So, what we have to do is we have to work on healing that anxiously attachment in us so we can start attracting someone that's more secure.
mm. Matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, let's segue into the next part because I definitely want to get your take on this, both of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
What are some reasons you think can develop these attachment styles?
Well, I would say it starts in childhood, honestly. I don't know if y'all ever saw there was a psychology theory done. I forget which psychologist did this study, but it was like children and they had them in their room and they
Mhm.
had the mom there and like the mom would leave or whatever. And then they would see how the child would react. And the children that were more securely attached, they would kind of like cry a little bit, but then they would just go back to playing or whatever. The kids
Yeah.
that are like um anxiously attached, they would cry like a lot and like need
Mm,
comfort from someone else. And then the kids that were like avoidant attached, they kind of would just ignore the fact that the mom left. So I think it
mm,
all really starts in childhood. How you're raised, how like how your parents, how their attachment styles are, because I feel like it all starts there.
mm. Listen, yes, yes. Say like
Yeah.
yeah.
Whew. Yeah, because like what I had wrote um in my notes literally speaks to what you said, but you put it in a broad, simplistic aspect and just really
Hmm.
soaked it all into one. And it's
Hmm.
so true. And as you were explaining that, I thought back to where my own anxious and avoidant dismissive comes from, and then
Hmm.
tying it into the reasons that I came up with, right? So one is like bullying is a big thing.
Mm,
um Sexual
yes.
assault, because I was
Yes.
molested as a kid. I was
Mm,
also raped as a kid, and I was raped as
mm,
an adult, and those things can help like as a kid, especially when you're in that child stage, like iron in those different attachment styles.
Mm-hmm.
And with other things that come along, like bullying or people coming along, whether it's family or students in school or friends that will dim your light because of their own insecurities or trauma that they have, but
Mm-hmm.
inadvertently throw it onto you as a child, right? Those
Yes.
things compound, I think, on top of the, like you said, Divine, like the initial starting, and it just kind of
Yeah.
compacts and adds those little kind of check
Yeah.
marks that we notches on our belt we gain as we get older.
Mm-hmm.
No, seriously, as you were both were speaking, especially about the bullying and the sexual assault,
Yes.
your transparency, because I definitely got molested growing up, and I'm still
Mm-hmm.
unpacking that because the boy, he was like 5 years older than me. I was 8, he was 13. He tried to penetrate. I'm still trying to understand what molestation means, and I'm still
Mm-hmm.
learning that because therapy was taboo in the household. But it does go back to the
Mm-hmm.
childhood because you don't realize what you're observing, you're also absorbing. You get what I'm
For
saying?
sure. Yeah.
he I know I developed that avoidant anxious because I seen the woman in my family perform for whatever man they were in love with, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that I was also dismissive because my mom, God rest her soul, she struggled with drug addiction. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody tells you with that when you're going through withdrawals, and especially when you're trying to find yourself, every
Mm-hmm.
pushed to the back. So there was some days where she was loving, and then there was some days where it's like just leave me be. Plus she's an air,
Yeah.
sign, so she can easily detach. I'm a Leo. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the heart. I
Your
feel
fire. Yeah.
yes. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I was very intense, and it's like not knowing, you know what I'm saying, when I would get that love. I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that I performed for men, but it's like with women, it was like I would be standoffish. I would give, 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 but I would be too dismissive to take anything back from them. If someone
Mm-hmm.
was picky with me, I'm like, I'm not used to this, push, push away, right? So that's definitely how that developed for me. So yeah.
I feel that. Wow.
I want to piggyback off that real quick. Like,
Yeah.
I think and probably like all of us can relate,
Hmm.
in a sense of things not being talked about in our families or like things
Mm-hmm.
being thrown under the rug. And like
Mm-hmm.
when uh there was a situation when I was a kid where I was younger and it was two girls. One was a family member and one was a family friend that were molesting me.
Mm-hmm.
And my gram walked in on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was made to feel I was in trouble and there
Mm,
was something wrong and I wasn't supposed to do that. I wasn't told about what sex was. I was just told it was wrong. And then it was my gram sent me down with my mom and it said this to me, but nothing else was explained. It was to not be talked about after that. And so
yeah.
my point is like I think that's where for me the avoidant dismissive started or at least got
Mm-hmm.
kickstarted, right? And I wonder if like can y'all relate to that in your own way?
For me, I would say my anxious attachment style started because both of my parents are avoidant. I
Mm,
noticed growing up, like so my parents were together until I was 9, and then they separated. But both of them are avoidant. Like they're not the type to talk about their feelings. They're not the type to really show affection. They're just like more so avoidant. And it's funny because they're both fire signs. My mom's a Leo and my dad's an Aries, and
yeah.
I'm an Aries too, but I'm like on the cusp. I'm like Pisces Aries. So I would feel all of that. Like I would feel their avoidantness, and I'm just a kid, so I'm needing that affection, that attention, that love, and I feel like that transpired into me like seeking that out from romantic partners. But I
Mhm,
would always seek out the avoidant romantic partners because that's what I was used to seeing growing
mhm.
up. So I feel like that's how I can relate to it.
Listen, I definitely can relate to that being punished, right? you did something wrong when
Mm-hmm.
I feel like no one educated them, and we all know this, right? But
Mm-hmm.
honestly, saying something, because I used to always wonder why did I like being spanked? Why did I like being choked? Right? We all have our kinks.
Mm-hmm.
Think it came from like it was hard for me to be sexually secure. Like even after I, masturbated sometimes, TMI, but I would feel guilty afterwards. And I think
I
it
feel
comes
that.
back to that punishment that I got growing up.
Yeah.
No one ever said it's not your fault. And it's like
Yeah.
we don't talk about how when you don't educate a child after they're introduced early to sex, how that
Mm-hmm.
sexuality becomes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people are just so quick to call you a hoe and they don't understand. A
Mm-hmm.
therapist told me this before. Because someone took your power away to say no,
Mm-hmm.
never knew how to do that. And I will say, as a recovering people pleaser, I was a huge sexual deviant with that. So yeah, you just
Mm-hmm.
made me think about that Saint when you said that. Yes, yeah,
That's deep right there.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
never learned how to say no.
Mm,
Right.
yes.
Mm.
We stimulate each
You're
other's.
blowing my mind right now. Like,
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
mm,
It's a safe space. Listen, I thank y'all for
Yeah.
this because y'all are stimulating my mind
For
and the
sure.
knowledge that you are helping me to think about because I'm a student in this. And also,
Mm-hmm.
you guys also helped me because my mind gets stimulated too. Like just him saying that, it made me think back to that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just never understood why I was so promiscuous. When
Mm-hmm.
I like a guy. I'm writing a new poem called Invisible Black Wounds Embedded in My DNA. And it's just basically to the saying, like, they always say women need to choose better black men. Well, how
Mm-hmm.
some of us started off accepting the bare minimum from our family, from the men in our.
Right.
And I said in there
That
that
part.
I didn't know that I was starving myself just only eating appetizers when breadcrumbs of love was what I survived off of. So when a man
Mm-hmm.
is coming along and giving you appetizers, yo, it's a little bit fuller than them crumbs. You get what I'm
Yeah. Yes.
saying? Say, oh, you got the
Yes.
floor. Listen, talk to me. Talk to me.
um, like, so one thing that I think that hit me is like, uh, masturbating is something that I really fucking like love. It's a kink in a way. Like I
Mm-hmm.
record, do different things, whatever. But I always have this huge like fear of getting caught. And I think that goes
Mm-hmm.
back to the story I just
Yes.
told y'all about, right? And even with my partner, like we're extremely open. I am
Mm-hmm.
a nudist. So I think that also comes from that incident, right? Part of me
Mm-hmm.
is proud to be out in the open, but still has a fear of being seen when I'm vulnerable.
Mm.
Mm,
So what you said,
Yes.
like, just threw me, and I just kept having these big, like, huge moments of like epiphanies right now, just like one by one, off the things you were
Mhm.
saying, complex. So
huh?
thank both of y'all. Like, wow.
Yes.
Divine, I didn't want to take up the floor. Did you want to say anything else or share? Like, is there anything that's going?
I mean, there's so much going through my head. Like, even just what Saint said, like, growing up, I feel like masturbating is like always seen as this like forbidden thing. Like you're not supposed to do this. And that actually pulls us away from our being in our body. Like, and no one teaches us that. I remember probably I think it was in like high school. I got caught watching porn. And I remember just getting in trouble. Like there was no explanation of, you know, why you shouldn't do this, or maybe there's healthier ways to, explore your sexuality. Nothing. It was just straight getting in trouble. So it makes you feel like, you know, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this, even though human nature is being sexual. Human nature, being a woman is being sexual. Like we create life, you know what I mean? And I just wish that it was talked about more, and so that we could understand ourselves a little more, understand our body, and
Yes.
understand our pleasure.
Yes. And that there's nothing wrong in it. Because I feel you,
Yes.
especially on that getting caught. Because I still
Yeah.
love masturbating now. I think
Yeah.
God makes no mistakes with aligning people. I had to be aligned
Mhm.
with my Splash Squad sisters because before that, my poetry was written from sexual trauma, right? But
Mhm.
it's like I always admire people who were nudists. I've always admired
Mhm.
people who did erotic. I've always admired
Mhm.
not afraid to be themselves openly because I
Yes.
taught shame and everything. But then when I came around,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so free to just be.
Yes.
Yes, people will think that they can try you, but it's like, no, you set that boundary. But every time I
Mhm.
find myself pleasuring myself, I put headphones on with my porn so nobody will
No, I
be
hear it.
next
Yeah.
door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Me
You know what I'm
too.
saying? It's
Me
like,
too.
yo,
Yes.
it is what it is, but it runs so deep, and it's like
Yes.
it really does go back to childhood, but it also can
Mhm.
be play a factor in like your friends that you grow up with,
Mhm.
your intimate partners. Like we also learn from them as well, but mainly it
Mhm.
goes back to the childhood because I believe in that
Mhm.
versus nurture. I feel like we have
Mhm.
parts of our parents in us. Our,
Yeah.
mother raised me, so I have parts of her in me. I was around all air signs, an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. So I'm very
Mhm.
erratic and impulsive at times. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got two things I want to say real quick. I have a
Sure.
poem that I wrote called Bait that's on like one of my albums from last year. And it was
Mhm.
a freeing experience to talk about that. But now you make me want to revisit it and really expand on it and actually perform it somewhere.
Mm.
Um,
Oh,
and then
yes. You know what? I was just thinking about the song that's on my album release that me and your cousin made.
Hey yo.
Because we touched on this. We
yeah.
touched on this. We
Oh my
touched
God.
on
Yeah.
like, women not being able to be sexual, not being able to like talk about sex, not being able to be free and open when it comes to sex. And I'm gonna go listen to that song because I love that song. We killed it.
It's such a good song, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
something you said, complex. I was it was a former partner,
Mhm.
an ex, and I was masturbating and they were trying to sleep and like I didn't know that I was bothering them that bad and they like flipped out on me. And that kind of was like a re-triggering, right? Um and so I think that, it's stuff that is always ongoing that we have to be mindful of how it like brings up these four different styles, right?
Yes.
Mm.
And see, listen, like that's why I just say I want to just be. Don't interrupt me and go off while I'm trying to release. But you know what I'm saying. I want
Right.
that to happen to you. Seriously, no. um, okay.
Oh, real quick,
Yeah,
let me just say
sure,
the
sure,
song
sure.
is called Twisted Dark Fantasy. Is on my album release featuring Love Parker. You
Okay.
gotta check it out.
Send that to me because I'm going to upload this to YouTube. I could put in the comments for them to,
Okay.
yes, please plug everything. If y'all got links, I will put it in the YouTube. Y'all pray for me on the editing. But okay. So next question before we get into the next segment. As people, right? I feel like all of us on here, we have found a way to turn our pain into purpose. So
Mhm.
my question is, do you feel our attachment style has changed with our trauma over the years since we have turned our pain into purpose? I can, if y'all
I,
need me to elaborate on what I mean, yeah.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Like when it comes to being able to express myself through poetry, I would say I've gotten very secure in that over the years. Um, but still, when it comes to like romantic relationships, I feel like that's still where I struggle.
Mm.
Hmm.
She know she we live in the same circumstantial
Yeah.
Saint.
I think that I've been largely anxious, avoidant, dismissive since, things early in my childhood. However, I
Mhm.
do have moments of secure and avoidant, fearful. And I think
Mhm.
that before being molested, um, I was very much those two things. And I feel
Mm,
like afterwards, I became anxious, avoidant, dismissive.
mm, that makes sense.
Yes, I respect that. My reason for
Mhm.
asking is because I've noticed that. with my trauma in the past, I used it as a woe is me because it
Mm,
gave me the attention that I needed.
mhm,
I was attached, baby, clingy, like
mhm,
with my trauma because it was the only time that I could get people to listen. Because
mhm.
being the strong friend, people forget to check in on you. But
Yeah.
once I started turning my pain into purpose, getting stuck in the wave of, I feel like, we go through the emotional waves. I got stuck in the wave of anger when I realized who was at the end of some of the reasons why I became what I became. And I think like having to check my ego so much, check my emotions, learn to give them grace. Because, with this healing thing, you got to look back at what they went through to understand, okay, yeah, this is my mom, but she's still a human.
Mhm,
This is my grandmother, but she's still human. So
mhm,
it's like, it started helping me to give myself grace with my trauma. Like I am able to detach from my trauma because I
mhm,
noticed that there's certain parts of me that I'm going to outgrow, right? And like I was
mhm,
saying about that, like I told him like I feel like every relationship we go through teaches us something. And my last relationship, it taught me about my ego, right? Like it
mhm.
showed me who I was, and I'm like, oh no, like what happens when you don't give old parts of you grace? You become
Mhm.
defensive, like stay the fuck over there. I ain't asked for that. I ain't asked. So yes, anybody want to piggyback? Oh,
I,
I
I
will. I will.
definitely. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Deja.
Oh, I
mhm,
was just gonna say I definitely understand where you're coming from. Where you said you were clinging to your trauma, and I felt like I did that for a long time as well. And I'm now getting to the point where I can detach from my trauma. I can still like talk about it in my poems and stuff, but I'm not like constantly posting sad stuff or constantly like talking to people about, oh, this is what I went through and da da da. But yeah, being able to turn it into purpose, make art, create is definitely helps me detach from it.
okay.
I was gonna say something else, but now I'm just gonna like respond to what you said, Deja. And I think that
Hmm.
I can agree. Like for me, and a lot of times our lives seem to mirror each other just in different ways. But
Yeah.
I think a good thing is that uh we've been like kind of to ourselves for a long time, and being
Hmm.
around other people that have similar paths but are growing too, it kind of rubs
Hmm.
off and people exchange stuff, kind of like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I've seen us both kind of like be in the water and we're paddling away from like the danger,
Yes.
we're looking back and we see it like floating in the distance more and more, but we
Hmm.
got our life jackets, we good.
Yes.
Yes, yes, I see. I feel that for sure.
Oh, God.
The
Wait,
growth.
did you know
I
what
just
else?
love seeing the growth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you know what
Hmm.
else she was gonna say, Saint, or you forgot the other thing she was gonna say?
I forgot, it's all good.
Okay, it's like a frisbee. It's like it's go. No, but I like that you said that though, because at the end of the day, like that is how it look, right? Because like they
Hmm.
say, old habits die hard, but it's like it does it, or do we just make an excuse for it? Because if
Yeah.
you really are tired, you know what I'm saying? And I'm
Hmm.
not saying that people that stay in relationships that aren't good for them or stay doing unhealthy habits, not saying that, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're not aware, you know what I'm saying, this is what you're used to, that's what you're used to. But when you really get tired, like, yo, I'm tired of this one sided relationship. I'm tired of, you are going to want something different. And it's like, we can look
Hmm.
back at it, but it's like, I'm so glad that I can forgive, but not forget. Because
Hmm.
to forget and just give multiple chances, but it's like they're only going to do more of what you allow. So I had to look at
Hmm.
boundaries as acts of love for my,
Hmm.
because it's hard when you know what I'm saying, like nobody tells you when you're becoming a recovering people pleaser.
Hmm.
I be feeling so mean sometimes just saying no.
Same. Yeah. Same.
Hey, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I love it. Did y'all want to piggyback before we go on to the next segment?
I don't think we're good. I think I'm good.
Okay, all right. So we on the I said what I said. We like Kalisa with this one. Say it with your chest, okay? So the first quote, I don't want to get back and forth to sharing the screen because it'll freeze, but the first quote is the root of suffering is attachment. And this is by the Buddha. What is your take on that?
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Attaching yourself to people, places, things, outcome is definitely the root of all suffering. It's so hard to be like, just let go and just go with the flow. It's so hard to do that. But I definitely feel like when we attach ourselves, especially to like outcomes, because we're always like trying to make sure things happen a certain way or it's supposed to go like this, and then when we don't we and when it doesn't go that way, we end up disappointed, and
Mm,
it's kind of only our own fault because for one, we can't control anything. We have no control over anything,
mm,
and I think that's the biggest lesson in this life is to learn how to not control and just let go, because whatever God wants to happen is going to happen regardless.
yes. Mm-hmm. Mm. Saint.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, like, oh my goodness, so much of what you said. I agree with everything. But like from a different perspective, but in the same vein, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the world is constantly moving and growing and changing. It does not stop. It can't stop, right? Mother
Mm-mm.
is constantly creating, and there's
Mm-hmm.
renewal always. There's always dying but rebirth. There's a recycling, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
constant growth, and you can't be stagnant. If you're stagnant, the universe is still going to move you. You may just be a frozen statue down a conveyor belt, but you're still moving. Even if you
Mm-hmm.
don't change yourself, the universe is still moving you. So why not just grow and change along with
Mm-hmm.
the universe, right? Because it's going to force
Yes.
you anyway. So like just kind of piggybacking off what you're saying, but like just going deeper with it, or to provide like
Mm-hmm.
a physical like depiction.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that yeah, if you tend to try and be stagnant, it's that's different from rooting yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like stagnant water is not healthy, but when you're rooting yourself, you're grounding yourself, you're rooting yourself into the earth, which is actually moving and changing,
Mm-hmm.
and you're rooting yourself to grow, right? Knowing that the seeds that you plant are going to grow into fruit, and some of them are going to die off. Some of them are going to be taken and eaten. It's not going
Mm-hmm.
to last forever. And then at the end of the season,
Exactly.
that plant is going to dry up and shrivel up and die. But some of those seeds that got planted are going to grow again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every season. So we change, we morph, we become different beings, but that's important. That's what life is, right?
Yeah,
This quote like definitely hit for me. Thank you.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. This quote hit for me because I was that person that you hear the saying nothing is permanent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Into your life for a reason or a season, but people that was only supposed to be there seasonal, I'm trying to hold on to them forever. And that's
Yes.
my suffering because I
Mm-hmm.
gave my all. I'm talking about paying people's rent. Baby, I had no boundaries because I didn't see boundaries growing up. I'm paying
Yeah.
rent. Oh, don't pay me back. But at the end of the day, I say people don't understand. We don't talk about the underlying manipulation that people pleasing has because we
Oh
say
yeah.
yes, 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 even though we don't want to, and we
Yeah.
still expecting something on the end of it, but we're
Mm-hmm.
not saying it, and we get mad when they don't do it. So I was like, yo, this
Mm-hmm.
ain't serving me, right?
Nope.
So I've had to learn like trust the flow of life. And honestly, it took for when Nipsey passed. I was watching the funeral, and Lauren London said he taught her we don't possess people, we experience them. And I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Because I want to do that, and it feels good. I have friends that I can
Mm-hmm.
they don't question me. We talk, and it's like flowers just bloom. Me and Saint had a talk the other day, and I was just like, yo, I feel like I could just go sit on the stars because you just made me that much. But that feels good. But when you stay in places where you attach yourself to where you're only tolerated, you start to dim your light. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
you look like you're bragging to people. So I've had to learn, you know what I'm saying, to experience people, really learn them but not try to control them to be what I want them to be. Because
Yes.
up
Yes.
with erratic behavior, because not only was my mom a drug addict, it was addiction all throughout my family. I used to
Mm-hmm.
create these worlds in my head where it's safe. And then I wanted people to act like that. No, you got to respond like this. Attach.
Mm-hmm.
They like, nigga, who do you think you are? So it was suffering for me because I was delusional and I was out of letdowns. So yeah.
Mm. Whew, I felt that. And when I've watched like a lot of Lauren London interviews after she's experienced that loss, and I feel like that grief has taught her so much. Like the
Yes.
way that she speaks on life now is just so beautiful, and I do want to get to that point. Like I know I'm trying my hardest to get to that point where I could be in that flow state, and it's like I just understand that people are here sometimes just for a season, and we just get to experience them as hard as it is because you want to hold on to them.
Yes.
But also I learned that that's your ego, like that's your ego wanting to hold on to them, because love is not control. Love is letting people be who they will be.
Ooh, yes.
Mm.
You're gonna get there. The fact that you spoke it, you're going to get there though. Because
Yeah.
you already I told Saint I don't know her that well, but I got
Hmm.
this energy from her. But we're not perfect. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
We're learning. Say I'm
Yeah.
gonna say something. I didn't want to interrupt.
I got a whole lot to say now based off both y'all. Like I love y'all so much.
I
Um,
love you too.
so I have John Tellisms, and I think y'all both know because I see them all the time. But for people that see us,
Yeah.
people come into your life for one of three things, or maybe a few, but it's up for you to decide. They come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And if they come into
Mhm.
your life for a lifetime, it still is not permanent, and you cannot treat it as such because then you will lose them. You have to constantly reassess where you guys are. If you're veering in different directions, you have to let that person go. And they actually weren't a
Mhm.
lifetime. They were multiple seasons, right? People come into
Mhm.
your life for reasons, and they're not for a
Mhm.
season. They're there to teach you a lesson,
A
right?
lesson. Yes, yes,
Exactly.
yes.
And so like it is really constant like reassessing, renewal, looking at the
Yeah.
seasons. Like, am I planting this crop this season or do I need to change and get a different? Do I need to grow organic this season? You know what I'm saying? I think that's really what like I felt like both of y'all were really speaking to. And it's like I was salivating to get it out because I've been saying this
Yeah.
for like 10, 15 years and it served
Mhm.
me right to like really like it's not putting people in necessarily rigid categories because some can be in
Mhm.
two different categories, right? And you might
Mhm.
take them and throw them in a different category or two and be open to all of that, but still be mindful like I think this person is just more here for more of a reason and doesn't have to be nefarious reasons, right? They may not just serve the purpose of being in your life for a longer period of time. And when
Mhm.
you start to think that way, you can honor people with more presence and more energy that is geared towards who they are and where they are with
Mhm.
you in reference to proximity in your life, right? So you're
Yes,
not just
yes,
doling out
yes.
energy mismatched to like you're giving out more energy to someone that it really shouldn't be given to, and that can go to another
Mhm.
person that actually deserves that energy and could actually use it, right?
Mhm.
So that's kind of like where that comes from.
Hmm.
And then boundaries for me, I really spoke to what I really felt what you said, Complex, because when my boundaries have been crossed in the past, I became avoidant
Mhm.
because like I still don't do conflict very well. And
Mhm.
so instead of people pleasing them or trying to like figure out what can I do to like negate this or make this better or like keep you feeling better and me dealing with like the muck, I do that, but in a different way. I just shut my mouth. I pretend nothing is, I make them act like nothing has ever happened. We're good, we're cool. And I save
Shut
face, I
down.
just suck it all in. I don't express
Yeah.
anything. But then,
Mhm.
as y'all could predict, one day I might just blow up and then all that stuff will come out. Not like I'm
Mhm.
throwing it on them, I'm not blaming them, but they can tell that I've soaked it all in and I'm rattled by all of it. But I don't want them to feel bad at the same time. This is my issue. I dealt with this. Okay, but like, still, you could have told me this as it happened instead of like, you did that to yourself. Yeah, I know.
Listen, I
Oh
love
yeah, I
it.
felt that.
I love the John Tellisms, right?
Me
Because
too.
for me, I call them protective mechanisms for myself now, where I ask myself, is this person a branch, a leaf, or are they the roots? because
Mm.
leaves are going to fall. They may come back around. Branch looks solid, but even branches can break, right? And it's like I was at a event recently where the lady was telling us like you want to get with a man that is going to include you in their plans, right? And I said
Oh.
yes. I said I'm not disagreeing with you. I said, but what I've had to learn recently is that what happens when you have to detach when that person no longer wants to include you in their plans? I can't
Mm.
hold you. Just like that's why I say I was cheesing when you said, yo, like even if it's a lifetime, you don't know when that lifetime is going to end. They could
And
from
yes.
seasons. I can't sit up there and let my ego, you promised me this, be
Mm.
allowed to change their mind. And when
Yes.
the ego divine, because listen, I'm a fire sign too. And if it makes it even more better, baby, my top three is fire. I'm a Leo, Sagittarius, Sagittarius. I don't know what
Wow.
my Venus is in, so I am definitely right. And
Yeah.
most men can't take that. I can be soft and loving, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, whenever I feel control energy or
Mm-hmm.
manipulation energy, it's like that protective side comes out because she remembers how many times I let people beat me down and just say it's okay, like how Saint said, it's okay, because I don't want no conflict. She
Mm-hmm.
has to come out and protect me, so she's 10 times more. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I am hoping, I'm telling God I trust the flow of life that someone will come in and love that and won't be afraid because I know it's
Absolutely.
because God has brought people around as friends. You
Yeah.
know, black men that have poured into me. Saint has made me cry so many times, poured into me. My mentor, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never had that growing up. I didn't have
Right.
that relationship with my uncles, and no
Mm-hmm.
shade to them, but it's like you don't realize how much you're deprived of until someone starts giving it to you, and you gotta
Mm-hmm.
ask yourself, why is this foreign to me? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Something you said real quick,
Sure, sure.
um, about the leaves, the branches, and the roots. My mind is blown. But then I also remembered that roots can rot. So
Mm.
like we have to be
Ooh.
mindful of that because we gotta
Yeah.
snip sometimes. Sometimes we gotta do some
Mm-hmm.
pruning, right? So just being mindful of that because we can invest heavily into relationships, but if
Mhm.
we're not keeping up with how we're treating the soil,
Yes.
sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be passionate too.
No, I'm laughing because I do not have a green thumb. I brought a prayer plant home one time. The most simplest plant ever. That junk died. And the thing is, it was in my prayer room, but I didn't put it in indirect light. So my
Mm.
homegirl Serenity was like, yo, how your prayer plant died in the prayer room? I said, yo, yo,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Oh gosh. How y'all feeling? Y'all rocking with me? We're almost through. Y'all good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool.
All right. So next quote is letting go gets easier. When you realize the things you're holding on to only have meaning because you gave it to them. When you stop feeding what no longer serves you, it slowly loses its power. And then clarity enters. Freedom begins. Let go. Not because it didn't matter, but because you matter more now. Who yeah. I love that.
I
What's
love that. I love that quote. I definitely feel like letting go does get easier once you realize, okay, this is no longer serving me, or this isn't mutually reciprocal. Yeah. That's when you know it is time to let go. And I feel like the more times that you have to do that, it definitely gets easier over time. Unfortunately, you have to do it a lot sometimes because relationships aren't always beneficial or mutually reciprocal, but it does get easier over time.
love that. Gets easier over time.
Hmm.
I think part of that also is not to you can't speed anything up. Um, However, like feeling it to heal it, right, is another John Tellism.
Mm.
But you, if like you keep blabbing about this thing that just like really fucked up your life, just fucked you up
Mm.
mentally, physically, emotionally, right? Keep
Mhm.
talking about that shit. Excuse me. Keep talking about it. Keep talking about it until you get tired of hearing yourself.
Yes.
because a day will just come and you're like, yo, I just don't want to talk about this. I don't want to think
Mm-hmm.
about this no more. That person is so far removed from my life, like not even just
Mm-hmm.
physical space, but time. So much time has passed. Like, why is this still in my brain? Right? Like, I'm over this, but sometimes you're not. And sometimes you need to just
Yeah.
dive and do more thinking about it, because when you keep thinking about something, you're being philosopher, you're playing detective, right? You
Mm-hmm.
come to some epiphany, and that epiphany is what's needed to break the code, to break you out of that spell and get you into a whole new like path, right? Because
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
like sometimes rumination, super rumination, can break that cycle, because you find something that just clicked and then it just breaks the whole circle, right?
Come
um
Absolutely.
Saint. Listen,
Yes, I feel that.
he dragged me on his EP when he was saying, I'm used to abandonment. Like I got abandonment once, so I'm used to abandonment. I'm like, God damn it. But
Yeah,
no, that's some real stuff, right?
that
Because
is.
that John Tellism, repeat it one more time if you can. The one you
which
just said.
one?
Lord Jesus. Oh my God. Wait, hold up. You just said it. Not the one about the branches and the roots, but oh shit. It went away. It went away like a frisbee. But
Well,
it's
you got to
okay.
record it so it'll come back.
Yes, yes. What I'm gonna say is though, I had to realize that I romanticize things, right? And okay, I think it's slowly coming back. What you had just said made me think. Like you said, you got to talk about it, right?
Feel
I've
it to
heard
heal it.
that. Yes, yes. Okay, another Capricorn told me that you got to go through. In order to go through, you got to no, in order to grow through, you got to go through. I'm like, I don't
Go
want to
through it.
feel shit because I
Yeah.
wasn't taught. I wasn't taught to feel growing up. I only seen people cry at funerals and then they lock it up. Not saying that they didn't cry privately, but I didn't see that it was okay. So I'm like, I don't want to feel this shit. And it's crazy
Mhm.
that you say that, Saint, because when I wrote my book, No Apologies, that was about my abusive experience when I first moved here.
Mm.
I was reading it over and over again because I was shocked. One, that I wrote this powerful book, but then I started attaching this lie to my, oh, you can't write anything better than this. This book was good because he made that story, the guy that was abusing me. And God was
Mm.
like, excuse me, no, no. I
Right.
I did that to put a shift in you. You're a self-love advocate. You can write about more things. Don't give him that power, right? So I
Exactly.
started talking about it to help me unpack it. You're so right. They say healing is like a spiral of stairs. The more we come back around to it, we'll be able to see it from a different perspective. You get what I'm
For
saying?
sure. Yeah.
Exactly, when we're older and we grow, we
Yes.
automatically have a different perspective.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't. No,
Some
listen.
people don't. You're right about that. Some people
Yes.
don't.
Yes. But the whole
But
letting go, like how you said, Divine, like because nothing truly belongs to us, and like stop giving it the power. Because honestly, you ever fell in love with somebody, then you see them years later, like what the hell did I see in you? That's the
yes.
magic that was in them, and we
yes.
back. But I think it's hard for me to let go because I'm not gonna lie, subconsciously in the back of my mind, I still try to be in control of how they perceive me. I want to know that
Mm,
in this relationship and you're not in control how people are going to perceive you.
nope.
And sometimes people will make you the villain to make it make sense in their mind. So I
Right.
learned to let that go too. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes. Thank y'all so much because y'all are really speaking to me as well. Like, if I could be transparent, I don't say no names on here, but I recently went through a breakup and I am navigating and growing through that. But I see so
Mm-hmm.
much growth because the old me would still beg that person, be that sexual deviant person, try to throw pussy at them to bring them back. But no,
Mm-hmm.
this time around, it's like, you know what? I'm going to let you go. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
you
I
are.
have
Yeah.
to because obviously this wasn't going to work. I wish you the
Right.
best. I believe two things can exist. Yes, I'm disappointed, but that's me. I got to check myself. But
Mm-hmm.
the lessons because you definitely showed me if a black man wants to, he will be intentional
Mm-hmm.
and go. But all you also showed me that black men are human. I was always
Mm-hmm.
that black men are strong and we forget about the vulnerable human side of them. So y'all are really helping me with this tonight.
Yes. Yes, I appreciate this conversation for sure.
Yes, yes. Okay. So y'all seen this one before, right? Where the man, I'm gonna send it closer. The man is standing, and like one side looks like six, one looks like a nine. So
Oh
it says,
yeah.
just because you are right doesn't mean the other person is wrong. You just haven't seen life from their angle. What's your take on that?
I definitely agree. And I feel like as I've grown and gotten older and had different experiences, I can relate to that more because I used to think like, oh, like my way is the right way or whatever. Like if someone wasn't doing something the way that I thought it was supposed to be done, I would see that they're doing something wrong. But going through therapy, my therapist taught me like just because someone might not be doing something the way that we would do it doesn't mean that they're doing it wrong. So I agree with that because everyone has a different perspective and not everybody is the same. So not everybody's going to do things the same way as we would do it.
Ooh, talk about it. Say, I'm
Mhm.
ready.
Um,
Drag me, y'all. Drag me.
Yes.
I'm screaming. Um, as a journalist and working in journalism for like the last several years, I've had the pleasure of seeing so many different thought processes and perspectives and wanting to know, as I'm a very curious mind, why people specifically in America, specifically like MAGA or racist or right-wing people, think
Mhm.
the way that they do and where it comes from, right? Not just like the racist history, because we as black people know the racist history, we're taught it out of safe for safety, right?
Mhm.
However, psychology, just really wanting to know where it comes from and not to see it as just right out wrong, but to see where their mindset is has really changed my perspective profoundly on um, how anyone can think in general.
Mhm.
Ooh, you make
Yeah.
me think to like racism and even like with religion. I feel like
Mhm.
when you keep the world divided, trauma can still grow, and that will keep them, you know what I'm saying, having money flow, right? Because
Mhm.
news, we always make these long stories about this person got robbed, this person got shot, this house got broken into, and we do these lighthearted stories for 15 seconds at the end to keep us in fear, right? I
Yeah.
stopped watching the news around 2014 because it scared me that so many black women were going missing, but not know we found this person. It was still
Mhm.
missing, or I was like, I'm not trying to go outside my house scared. 24 at the time.
Mhm.
Right? So it's like two things. I feel like there's multiple truths, and I had to
For
learn.
sure.
I'm the same way where I will sit up there and I will try to if you didn't love me the way I wanted to be loved, there was no way that you could love me. And I've had
Mhm.
to learn that everyone has learned love in a different perspective, different angle. Everyone detaches to protect themselves. It has nothing to do with you, right?
Yeah.
So that's the perception I've had to learn. And I've also had to learn like, yo, you really can't argue perception. I can't
Mhm.
get someone to see it from my perspective if they've never walked a day in my shoes, right? So
Mhm.
I've had to learn to respectively agree to disagree. And I try not to tell people you're wrong because I would still project my advice onto them. But it's kind of like the
Mhm.
I had said earlier, I've had to learn everybody's not going to do it the way you would do it. And it used to piss me off when people would tell you how to do something because they know with
Mhm.
people pleasers, we don't know how to think. I
Mhm.
used to have want people to think for me because that's what I seen growing up. It was a lot of control and restrictions in my house. So when the person that was controlling and restricting me died, I need the next person to take over these chains because I don't know how to do it. So you get tired. It's like, no, let me figure this out. Quit telling me what to do. Let me figure it out. So yeah.
I felt that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Last quote before we get into the last segment is kind of lengthy. But it says the purpose of this life is to learn how to cultivate positive states of mind and let go of deluded states of mind, such as anger, jealousy, greed, and attachment, are what Buddha called uncontrolled desire. All these heavy minds cause suffering. We think they're natural to the mind, but according to Buddha, they are familiar to us, but they are not natural. Love, peace, joy, compassion, these are all natural to the mind. They are part of our Buddha nature. So I'm not a Buddhist, but I love the lifestyle that they live of like letting go,
Me
detached from things.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, I love
I
it.
know that was kind of lengthy, but what stuck out to you? Or like, what's your take on that jealousy and greed and all that is really not natural states of mind? It's really joy and compassion that is. What's your take on that?
I agree with that because God or the universe or whatever you call it is love, and that is the highest frequency. So I truly believe that that is our natural thoughts. We are here to love, we are here to show compassion, we are here to be a helping hand to others, to serve. And I honestly think it's just society programmed us to believe that we're supposed to be thinking these negative thoughts and that life is supposed to be so hard. And yeah, there's a lot of challenges, but I truly think that our natural being and our natural thoughts is love.
Yes. Woo. Yes. Oh, Saint, you're on mute, love.
I definitely agree with you. I think that the ultimate is love and gratitude. Uh
Yes, yes.
because if you don't have gratitude when you go through darkness or tribulations, how can you appreciate that to be able to appreciate the light? But I
Mm-hmm.
also more importantly think that uh I don't disagree with this, but I don't necessarily fully agree with it. For me, it's
Mm-hmm.
like we're beings of light, yes, within a void of darkness. And
Yes.
I really look at things as circumstantial saint in a light and dark aspect. Us as beings, we are made of love and peace and compassion. Yes, it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
But like the
Yes.
jealousy, the anger, the greed is within life. It's a natural part of life. It's part of what makes life. It is darkness. It
Yes.
surrounds us, right? So like we're
Yeah.
supposed to be constantly renewing by transmutation, right? So like I
Mm-hmm.
do agree with this. And I think that two truths again can exist, two perspectives, two
Mm-hmm.
truths can exist within the same space. And so, like with this, I don't disagree because of that. Jealousy, greed, attachment are not natural to the inner, but they're still within the outer around you. And
Mm-hmm.
it has to do with like ego and all that shit, right? Because when you're bringing that stuff into you, it doesn't feel natural.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But when it's surrounding you, it's natural because that's what you expect out of life. And like you said, not to Deja, not to uh be all down in the dumps and everything is doom and gloom and be in a fear mentality all the time. That's not the
Mm-hmm.
way of life either. Like we
Mm-hmm.
have to exist in joy and happiness and love in order to exist within a space of darkness.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Yes.
No,
I
I feel
definitely.
that. I feel what you're saying, and that's why I love your poetry and just your being because you always talk about the duality of life, and
Yes.
I love that. I feel like we you're right, we do have to go through a lot of dark to get to the light. And I remember when I was going through my separation from my marriage, I would just sit I would take a lot of walks outside because that was like my way to cope. I would just walk a lot in nature and I would just sit there. And even though I would be crying, I would be crying like
Mhm.
tears, hurt, feeling so much pain. I would just look up and I would see the sun peeking through a little bit and I was just like, God, thank you. Like I had to go through all of this darkness to be able to experience light and to grow and to have new perspective. So I definitely feel that.
No, I definitely do too.
Yeah.
Like I would say I don't disagree with the quote, but I would say like I feel like jealousy and all that is going to be natural because it's something that we've learned. So
Mm-hmm.
it does become a part of us, and our
Mm-hmm.
darkness does teach us. My dark days have brought me strength. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
To like embrace the light days because I thought
Mm-hmm.
the journey was just all peace, love, and light. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't have a
Yeah.
bad day, but it's like, no, baby, it's nothing like that. What you think
Whew.
shadow work
Yes.
is, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with
Yes.
that. I just feel like I always have to check myself when I find myself being jealous, or when I find myself judging. Because I was telling Saint the other day, judging was such an example in my household growing up. There was no
Mhm.
grace for anything. And it's like,
Mhm.
the more I've learned, like, yo, the people that judge you are doing way less than you. And I'm like, I don't want to be
Yeah.
doing way less. I don't want to be a hater. You know what I'm saying? So I've had to check myself, like, okay, well, what is it about that person that's mirror reflecting something I don't like? Because they say what we don't like in someone else is something that we don't like about ourselves. So
Yes.
yeah. And so it helps me. Those state of minds helps me to learn. Like, okay, why do we just have that moment? So yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, you want to say something else, Saint? Okay, okay. All right. So last segment, I thank y'all so much. So this is the game triggering timelines. We're gonna go and just say like where you think you fall at in the attachment styles. Do y'all need me to say them again, or y'all remember what the four was? Anxious, avoidant, dismissive, fearful. Okay.
Got
So when
it.
it comes to your relationship with self, where do you fall on the attachment style chart?
Hmm. Ooh. I feel like I go back and forth between secure and anxious.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I can respect that. Saint.
I deviate between all four.
I respect that. I
Yeah.
respect that. Yo,
Yeah.
I am very dismissive and avoidant to my needs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, no, okay, okay, let me not. I've gotten secure with doing my morning podcast, like my morning routine. I listen to a morning podcast, doing it in
Mm-hmm.
the shower. But sometimes I will intervene and talk to someone on the phone and neglect myself. So
Oh.
I got some tighten up to do with my relationship with self. Okay. Okay. We kind of touched on this earlier, but we could talk about it from today's perspective. Where are you at today on the attachment style chart when it comes to connections with people in general?
Like people in general, not just romantic relationships, just people in general.
Okay, we'll narrow it down to
Okay.
relationships with friends, intimate partners, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, I would say anxious avoidant.
Okay. I ain't thinking about this.
I think that I'm pretty secure. However, um, I'm still having my bouts of anxious that I'm being aware of, pinpointing,
Mm-hmm.
and like working on and actively like speaking about those things. And like complex, you know of a situation recently that happened uh that I was like, okay, like I love these people. I'm not like I would never want to cut them out my life over this, but I do
Mm-hmm.
need to address this and communicate. And that's the only way that this is going to like be resolved is if I
Mm-hmm.
talk about my feelings and how I'm hurt, right?
Yes.
And that was
Yeah.
a big lesson for me that like, hey, Jontel, you need to be direct. You need to
Mm-hmm.
state your feelings and welcome an apology, because that is like the way forward. Because if you dismiss this and you bottle up your feelings, how's anyone to know, and therefore like to know that there was any kind of boundary that could have been crossed, right? So yeah, I think that it's still I'm still a work in progress, and I still have those avoidant dismissive tendencies. Um, but the anxious gets uh I will say anxious with friends, dismissive in relationships, like my
Mm-hmm.
partner relationship, anxious with like friends and like people around me in my inner circle, but still very secure. I just have little
Mm-hmm.
moments that I get triggered and then the anxious fully comes out. Does that make sense?
For
Yes.
sure. Yeah, I
Yes.
feel that.
Ooh, definitely
Mm-hmm.
do. For me, connections with friends, I feel it's secure, but I do have to check myself a lot because I still get in my head, like especially when it comes to asking for money. Because growing up, I was, what you doing with your money? Like it was always a lecture, like, nigga, I'm trying
Mm.
to survive. So I would be scared to ask, but then I would have to check myself. What has this person shown you so far?
Yeah.
Everybody's not like the people that hurt you. But also
Hmm.
kind of going back with Circumstantial Saint said, giving room for people to fail you. Cause oh baby, I take
Hmm.
it to heart. Like what you but like yo, Tasha, you've hurt people. Give people room to
Give
fail.
people the grace. Yeah.
I definitely used to be that person that would ghost as well. And when you get ghosted, you realize it does not feel good. But also
Uh-oh.
respect the dead when they ghost you. I won't
Hmm.
well, nothing like that. So yeah. Uh,
Hmm.
so I see myself insecure. But intimate relationships, where I'm at today, I have learned to pour into the black man. I have learned not to make him responsible for my daddy issues and have him re-raise me. But I
Mm.
that when it comes to like certain timelines of marriage and this, my free spirited self is so scared to get wrapped up in losing myself in the role. So that's when I become
Oof.
avoidant. So yeah.
Felt that. Felt that.
Yes. Listen,
Felt that.
did you want to piggyback before we go to the last three?
Yeah. I feel like that is part of the reason why I am avoidant now in
Mm,
romantic relationships, because I was in a long-term relationship where I kind of lost myself, and I took like 2 3 years to like find myself again, rebuild myself, have my own sense of self. And now I'm kind of like, okay, I don't want to lose myself again in another relationship. So like I said before, when I do see like a man approaching me that's more secure, I'm like, oh wait, I don't know about all that. Like,
listen, yes.
yeah.
I respect that. Oh gosh. Did you want to say something, Saint, or you good?
I'm good.
All right, so last three. Where do you fall on the attachment style when it comes to your relationship with your purpose?
Hmm. I would definitely say I feel more secure in it now.
Okay,
Today, I feel secure in it.
okay, okay. Say eyes. Why your eyes go like that? Oh gosh.
So I will say mostly secure, but
Okay.
just still a little bit avoidant, dismissive.
Mm.
Hmm, okay. I think I'm there. I know. Okay, I am very. No, I'm a little bit of three. I'm secure. I'm anxious when it's time to put flyers out for events. I'm like, are people going to show up? And Lord Jesus, I hope that this never gets out. But I have practiced saying I'm going to quit my job because I know my spirit is too big for a 9 to 5, but I'm
Girl.
so scared to take that route. So
Yeah.
that's when I get avoided. I get dismissive, like, yeah, God, we ain't got to talk about it. I'm serious. Oh, God. So that's
Yes.
where I'm at with it. Oh, okay. Next one. Where do you fall at on the attachment style with endings? We can go at it from like separation, breakups. We can go at death too if you want to.
Anxious. Yeah, I'm very much still anxious with that. And that is part of like kind of what we were talking about earlier, that letting go of that control and just understanding that everything is an experience, not just people. Everything is just an experience, and that can be really hard to take in sometimes. So I would say I'm still anxious with endings.
I respect your honesty, Queen.
Hmm.
Um, I would say I'm mostly secure, but I still am anxious when it's something that's when it's like someone that has a real big impact and significance. I
Yeah.
still get those tinges of anxiousness. However, I'm so secure enough in myself and my purpose and what I offer a connection that
Mm,
even if I check myself, hold myself accountable to what I contributed in the wrong way, I'm still secure in like being adamant that that parting was for whatever the universe's purpose meant for it to be. Even if I don't like it, I still am secure knowing that it was for whatever right reason.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I was, oh, Jesus.
Yes. Yeah.
Me, I'm still trying to get used to endings. Because even
Mm-hmm.
in death, when someone passes, the world does not look the same. But like even with my job, when someone passes, I feel so desensitized. Like, oh, just close the case, right?
Mm,
I've had family members, not in my immediate family, but have passed away, and it's like I'm just putting it to the back burner because I'm still
mm-hmm.
trying to allow myself to grieve my mother passing and my.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah.
with breakups and even friendships, yeah, they're gone, but I still find myself taking it personal of over things that I let slide instead of just, okay, you know the lesson behind it. Why are we still holding on to taking it personal? I sometimes
Mm.
still let it live rent free in my head. You know,
Oof.
and so
Yes.
is
Yeah.
I guess I'm anxious like that. That's the best way to say
Mm.
it. You want to
Yeah.
say something love, before we go to the last one?
I'm
Oh,
good.
okay. Last one. Perception. Wait, I
Mm.
know, yo. What is your take on this? Like when you're talking to someone and they might say something that you have a hard time navigating, where do you fall with attachment styles?
Hmm.
Say that again.
Where do you fall on the attachment style when it comes to perception? Like when you're talking to someone and they're saying something that you're having a hard time navigating because you can't see it from their perspective. How do you, where do you fall at? Do you get like dismissive, like you know what, forget it? Do you get secure where it's like, okay, that's your perspective, this is my perspective? Do you get fearful? You know what I'm saying? Like where do you fall with perceptions?
I honestly would
Um,
say, oh, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
I would honestly, I feel like I'm pretty secure in this area. I've always been like a really open-minded person. I don't know if it's because I grew up around a lot of diversity, but I've
Mm,
always been like open-minded to people's different perspectives, different ways of living, lifestyle. So I never really be like, oh, like, no, that's not right, or
yeah,
fearful in any way. I think it's beautiful that everybody has a different perspective, honestly, because that's what makes the world the way it is. Because if we were all just the same, it would be pretty boring.
yes, yes, yes.
So I would say secure in that area.
Yes. I hope this recording does not stop. It just said come back. We'll see. If
Oh,
it does, we'll just go back. But yeah, I'm sorry. Keep going. Saint, my bad.
I would say it's pretty secure, but at moments I still have the anxious.
mm, mm-hmm, for sure.
Me, I definitely have a hard time navigating sometimes. I'm still working on my facial expressions when someone says something that I don't agree with. I'll be like, "Oh, fix your face," because everybody is going to think different, right? That's why I really started practicing with sessions. Like, you can't argue someone's perception. You can't argue how they see it. And I think I was arguing it because I felt like when they said something different, I was wrong. It's kind of like on a test where you see people getting like crayons and stuff out. It's like we had to draw on that last one. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah. I think I have to learn to just navigate that. Everyone's not going to agree with what you said, but it doesn't mean that you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting better at we can agree to disagree, but I still find myself sometimes trying to get something through somebody that is committed to misunderstanding you, especially
Yeah.
myself. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, it wasn't that bad at all. Okay, I don't know
No.
if it's gonna stop recording because it's almost 8:30. But if we can take turns plugging ourselves, like tell people what you do, how they can reach you, and yeah. And I want to say thank y'all for coming on. I appreciate this.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciated this conversation. Like I said, my name is Daisha Myers, also known as Divine Marie. You can find me on Instagram. My poetry page is Divine Marie underscore. And for my personal page, where you'll see all my events, such as my meditation sessions, that is Daish, Daish, Marie underscore.
Yes, I will definitely put links and all. They're going to send it to me, and I'll put it in the comments on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Circumstantial Saint.
Segue. myself and Divine Marie, along with my partner Coral Wrights and DJ Tanias, have a new album that just dropped called House 37,
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Sacred Dance Floor. And it's really Baltimore club music, booty shaking music to really help
Yeah.
heal the womb, to really bring about spatial awareness, transmutation, good energy, to shake it off, to heal it, to feel that trauma. So it really, the whole album really talks about a lot of the stuff that we talked about today. So I really wanted to segue that, because myself and Divine Marie, it was a while since the last time we had collaborated, and we have a lot of songs together. So I wanted to touch
Yes.
on that. Um,
Hey, yes.
Yes,
guys,
yes,
guys,
yes.
we're poets that like to put our poetry to music, and so we're both musical poets. And I'm also a event curator and host, so I've got a lot of really dope events coming up. Puff and Poet is what I'm known for. Every second Sunday of the month, 6 to 9, I puff, I poet. Y'all already know.
Yes.
um, but I also host events that really are like meeting spaces for people to get together and meet other people and connect and plug themselves, right? I have a couple events coming up to help foster that. So Poets Party is just like a get together for poets on the 26th of this month. Come bring some goodies, bring some food, drink, snacks, bring yourself, and have fun with people. Puff and Party is an event I got coming up with a house DJ from Philly. Super Dupe, he's coming out
Ooh,
and playing some house
yes.
music for us. That's going to be a dope event on
That's
August
really
7th.
dope.
And then I'm also going on tour. So one of the shows that's going to be really dope is part of the Free the Saint tour is at Hempville on the 14th of August. Opening act is Karma Star. She's a really amazing singer, and it'll be hosted by the rapper slash poet Nasanje. He's really dope. So obviously I got lots of stuff coming up, but if you check my page on Instagram, circumstantial_saint, you can follow, check out all the events I have coming up and get all the details for them.
Yes, I love
Yes.
it. And like you guys know, I am Complex Angel. I am a Stimulate Your Mind Awareness coach. I'm a poet. I'm a self-love advocate. And I forgot to say that I'm also a author. I just want
Ooh,
to put my two books out there and just show like this is what really started the journey of
love
me going on
that.
the journey, and honestly, the Stimulate Your Mind Awareness coach being brought to you as you see today. I do want to also say that I'm going to be curating an event. I curate poetry and healing events, but I'm bringing something new to Lancaster next year. All shout out to
Yes.
the connections called Is It Too Complex for You? Right?
Ooh.
This is going to be a movement where, we're told so many times we're too much. You are not too much for your right tribe. If you are too much, it's because that person, you're too complex for that person to comprehend. Be complex
Mhm.
as fuck anyway. I have bookmarks. This one has one of my stimulate your mind questions on the back. If you got to view yourself through someone else's eyes, what would you observe? $6.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
So I'll definitely be bringing it because I'm going to be bringing an open mic called "Is It Too Complex for You" to Lancaster, where transparency and poetry meets the stage. So the poet gets to go up there and do a poem, and then you get a random question from one of the three categories. Which one you don't know? Life is like a box of chocolate, right? So you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So first one will be coming up the third Saturday of May 15th of next year. And then August,
2027. Okay.
yep. $12, but food will be included, right? Listen, I believe that we can still get
Yes.
for that. You know what I'm saying? So please pull
Mhm.
up. Also, like I said, my books are on Amazon. Follow me on IG at complex_angel90. My link tree bio's in there. Please subscribe to Is It Too Complex for Your page so you can follow these, two lovely people, dynamic duo in the making. You know what I'm saying? To see what they have going on and subscribe. Let's make Is It Too Complex for You a movement. I thank y'all
Yes.
so much tonight. Give me grace when I edit, but when I put it together, ask that y'all please just share with like three people and just tell them, hey, you can either
Sure.
like, share, or comment. And that's it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all have done y'all job. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all.
I
Peace.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Let me stop this recording. Stop recording. Okay. Okay, yes. All right. So yeah,